Hi, hello, this is Srija from CSD C section department. I am here to say about the purpose of PEP8 in Python. First of all, introduction to Python PEP8. PEP or Python Enhancement Proposal is a draft or document that has the description of Python code writing guidelines, which is the best practice to improve the Python code's consistency and readability. This document contains features such as Python style and design, which is used while writing the codes. As we know, Python has a strict format or the order to write the scripts so that it makes it others easy to read the code. Therefore, nice coding style helps tremendously to the developers or others who are reading the code. The developers must follow these guidelines. In Python, we see indentation is very important for code to execute syntactically. Now, what is a PEP? Writing code with proper logic is a key factor of programming, but many other important factors can affect the code's quality. The developer's coding style makes the code much reliable, and every developer should keep The developer's coding style makes the code much reliable, and every developer should keep in mind that Python strictly follows the way of order and format of the string. Now, functions of Pep8 in Python. In general, Pep8 is a tool where you can check your Python code conventions with the conventions in the documentation of Pep8. Let us see a few features of Pep8 documentation. First one is indentation. This is one of the most important feature for writing the codes and for reading the codes in Python. It is also known as the four space rule, and this rule is not as mandatory as it can be overruled for the continuation of the line. Indentation also helps to know which code belongs to which function, as we use braces in other programming languages in Python. This is done by following the rules of indentation. What is PEP8? PEP stands for Python Enhancement Proposal. A PEP is a design document providing information to the Python community or describing a new feature for Python or its process or environment. What is the importance of PEP8? PEP is an official design document providing information or style guidelines to the Python community. PEP usually describes upcoming or new version for Python or packages. What is the purpose of PEP8? The primary focus of PEP8 is to improve the readability and consistency of Python code. Why PEP8 is important? PEP8 enhances the readability of the Python code, but why is readability so important? Let's understand this concept. First of all, the creator of Python was Guido van Rossum. He said that code is much more often than it is written. Why PEP is important? The code can be written in a few minutes, a few hours, or a whole day. But once we have written the code, we will never rewrite it again. But sometimes we need to read the code again and again. Naming convention. When we write the code, we need to assign name to many things such as variables, functions, classes, packages, and a lot more things. Selecting a proper name will save time and energy. When we look back to the file after some time, we can easily recall what a certain variable, function, or class represents. Developers should avoid choosing inappropriate names. Now, examples of naming convention. Single lowercase letter a is equals to 10. Single uppercase letter capital A is equals to 10. Lowercase variable is equals to 10. Lower underscore case underscore with underscores. Number underscore of underscore apple is equals to 5. Uppercase variable is equals to 6. Upper underscore case underscore with underscores. Number underscore of underscore cars is equals to 20. Capitalized words or camel case. Number of books is equals to 100. Now it's a name style. Function. We should use the lowercase words or my function, my underscore function separates words by the underscore. Variable. We should use a lowercase letter words or a variable underscore name separate words to enhance the readability. Class. The first letter of class name should be my class, comma form, comma model, comma capitalized. Use camel case. Do not separate words with the underscore. Method. We should use a lowercase letter words or class underscore method. Method separate words to enhance readability. Constant. We should use a short uppercase letter my constant comma words or separate words to enhance the my underscore constant readability. Module. We should use a lowercase letter comma words comma module underscore name pi comma module dot pi separate words to enhance the readability. Package. We should use a lowercase letter words or package my package separate words to enhance the readability. Do not separate words with the underscore. It's a code layout. The code layout defines how much the code is readable. In this section, we will learn how to use white space to improve code readability. Now, indentation. The indentation is used to define the code block in Python. The indentations are the important part of the Python programming language and it determines the level of lines of code. Generally, we use the 4 space for indentation. Now, we see some examples of indentation. We are writing a code n is equals to 10 if n greater than 5 print apostrophe n is greater apostrophe. The output is n is greater. The print statement follows indentation in the above program because the if statement is true. Then only the print statement is executed. If there is no proper indentation maintained, then it will pop an error. The output of the above code without indentation will be n is equals to 10 if n greater than 5 print apostrophe n is greater apostrophe output. Now output is file main.py line 3 print n is greater. Indentation error expected an indented block. Now this is one more examples of indentation. X is equals to 5 if x is equals to 5 print x is larger than 5. Docstring. Python provides the two types of document strings or docstring, single line and multiple lines. We use the triple quotes to define a single line or multi-line quotes. Basically, these are used to describe the function or particular program. Now we have some naming conventions. There are few naming rules in Pep8 for Python coding to make the codes more readable and less complex. These are many things in the code to be given a name, such as it may variables, class, methods, packages, etc. It has always been a best practice for selecting names to variables or functions or classes or packages that make sense or they relate to what exactly the code does, because using some random names for declaring would lead to ambiguity or it is highly difficult when debugging the code. Let us see a few naming styles to be used while writing codes. For variables, you can have either one letter or word or any number of words separated by an underscore. But all these letters should be in lowercase. We can use all the letters in lowercase for naming functions or methods, which can be one word or any number of words separated by an underscore. For constants also follow the same as variables, but all the letters should be in uppercase. For class, the naming rule is that you can use one word or multiple words, but there is no separation between those multiple words. And it follows a camel case like class name. For packages also follow the same as naming rules of class, but instead of camel case, the package names letters should all be in lowercase. These all can be demonstrated in the below code. Now we see some examples. Code class name colon hashtag class naming rule. C is equals to 1 constant naming rule. The underscore variable is equals to 2020 hashtag variable naming rule. Print, the constant value is C. Definition, the underscore method self hashtag method naming rule. Print, I am inside class. Definition, inside class self. Print the variable class name dot the underscore variable. Self dot the underscore method. N is equals to class name. N into inside class. Now the output is, the constant value is 1, the variable 2020, I am inside class. Now it is about some information about document string. This is also known as doc strings, which have the document strings enclosed within both single and double quotes, which are used to define the program or any particular function or methods. The rules for applying document strings to code are: firstly, the quotation or used for documenting a block of code is done in triple quotes, such as this is a doc string. And secondly, where it can be used in writing doc string for all functions, public modules, classes, and methods. Note that docstrings are not necessary for non-public methods. Instead, you can have comments to describe the description of what the method does. Also, note that the end triple quotes come in same line for one line docstrings, but for multiple lines, the end triple quotes come where the docstrings end. Now, we see some examples of docstring. Code is definition addition a comma b is equals to 0. Triple quotes, this method is for addition. Triple quotes, c is equals to a plus b. Triple quotes, this method is for addition and it is addition of two numbers. This has a formula as shown above. C is equals to a plus b, and the addition of two numbers gives the result which is stored in C triple quotes. Return C. Some of the other few peptide documentation rules for Python codes are: we have to use UTF-8 or ASCII encoding for Python coding, and it is also a default encoding that is made for international environments. There is also a rule of where to use spaces. Spaces should be used only around the operators and after the comma, not inside the brackets or before the comma. Characters should not be used for identifiers as they may lead to confusion, such as for letter I, which can be taken as lowercase I and uppercase I, and for the letter O, capital O, and number 00. There are many different document features of Pep8 for Python code styling and designing. Now, conclusion. Pep8 is one of the tools for accurately writing Python codes with proper rules and styling for the codes. This documentation of rules is very important to the for the developers to write code that is more readable and less complex for others. To note one point, usually writing proper codes with proper comments and documents helps as codes are written only once, but many people read them many times. So the developers need to write the code to be readable and easy to understand code for others. Therefore, Peptide would help you do this. To understand Peptide, I recommend some articles like this is a guide to Python Pep8. Here we discuss the introduction and working of Python Pep8 along with different examples and its code implementation. You may also have a look at the following articles to learn more. First one, Python string operations. Second, Python kinter button. Third one, Python default arguments. Fourth, Python pickle. So, this is about the purpose of Pep8 in Python. I think you understood it. So, at last, thank you. In this, I want to include some key features of Python. These are easy to learn and readable language. Python is extremely easy to learn. Interpreted language, dynamically typed language, open source and free, large standard library, high level language, object oriented programming language, and large community support. Now, I'll also include about future scope of Python. Now we have some Python programmers roles and responsibilities. But first, let's look at the roles and responsibility of a Python programmer. Let's talk about some of the main duties and jobs performed by professionals in this industry. Collaborating with development teams to determine the needs of the application. Utilizing the Python programming language to create scalable programs. Check for bugs and debug software. Making advantage of server side logic, creating backend components, and integrating user facing components. Evaluating and ranking client feature requests, work together with front end programmers, upgrading the functionality of current databases, create internet traffic monitoring software. Now, I am a data science student, so I also include a topic about data scientists. The subject of data science is rapidly expanding and needs highly qualified personnel. According to Glassdoor, the third most coveted occupation in America is in data science. Additionally, the demand for data scientists is rising steadily in India. Additionally, these experts process, model, and analyze data before interpreting the outcomes to develop workable plans for business and other organizations. Software engineer. It develops, engineer adds methods, tools, and approaches to balance demands across the software development process from coding and installation to maintenance and upgrades. The compensation of develops engineers reflects the career of such individuals in this very promising field which offers development. Python programmer. The person in charge of writing, developing, delivering, and troubleshooting development projects, usually on the server side, is a Python developer. This is because they support organizations, technology, infrastructure as well. As a result, the duties of a Python developer might encompass a wide range of activities. Additionally, the growing need for Python engineers across several sectors makes being a Python developer a wise career decision. Data science is a rapidly expanding field that heavily relies on Python. Statistics shows that data science will be popular in the next 10 years. Python is among the simplest when it comes to using tools to solve data science and challenges. Python has indeed changed the game in the data sciences. Overall, Python is among the top options for data for different data scientists worldwide. So, I wind up this session. Thank you so much.